Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to For Strategy Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Protoss strategy. Now, just so we know, in this particular matchup we're looking at, the opponent here is the little one, and we're actually looking at a game from Love CD. I know it says Emperor right here. Love CD was just playing on Emperor's account. But anyways, what we're going to be taking a look at today, let's go right into Love CD Vision here. We're going to be taking a look at a 4-gate. We all pretty much are comfortable with the 4-gate right now, for the most part, I have to say, at this point in the game. Unless you're brand new to the game, most Protoss players understand a 4-gate, they're comfortable with the 4-gate. But what we're going to be taking a look at specifically is actually doing proxy gateways with your 4-gate. Now, typically what's going to happen is an SCV scout can actually stay into your base, of course, until that first stalker is finished building. Now, ideally, if you're going for a 4-gate timed as fast as possible, that's going to delay the dropping of your additional gateways aside from that first gateway. But in going for proxy gateways, that hides the tech. It allows you to drop it even if the SCV scout is still in your base. You don't really have to worry about it that much, and it kind of allows you to take them by surprise, because if they're in your base and they're scouting around and they don't see those 3 additional gateways, they're probably going to think that, maybe he's expanding, or maybe he's just planning on dropping a robo, and that's why he just has this one gateway right here. So that's particularly what we're going to be taking a look at. So let me slow it on down very quickly right here, and let me just run through the motions. All right, so in terms of build order, already you can see the proxy pylon being dropped, and we'll talk about positioning in a moment. Build order is going to be 9 pylon, 13 gateway, 15 assimilator, 18 cybernetics core, 22 is when you start the warp gate research, and then a 26 supply. That's when your 3 additional gateways is going to come in. So you can see right now already the first zealot is out trying to chase around the SCV. Now typically the SCV could still be in your base right now, again, up until that stalker finishes. And you could see with these gateways already coming, that would have slightly delayed the actual drop of that. But again, in going for the dropping here of these proxy gateways, again, that's something you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about that scout hanging around in your base and you not being able to drop those gateways on time. So the 3 additional gateways are going to be coming down at 26 supply. Ideally, you need to drop that proxy pylon somewhere around 22-ish. That way you'll be able to have that warped in and ready for your 3 additional gateways once the time does come when you hit about 26 supply. Quick note of Chrono Boost. First 2 Chrono Boosts are going to be used on your Nexus. Then after that, you're saving them for your Stalker, initial Stalker, to get that out and shoot the scout out of your base, as well as your Warp Gate research. And what's going to happen, of course, as soon as these gateways are in, obviously going ahead and changing those over. Now, something else that I really want to take a look at in this particular game is engagement, because specifically, what we're actually against in this game is literally a straight-up 3 racks. Now, at this point, Love CD isn't aware of that, but let me show you really quickly. So you can see right here, this is a 3 racks, and this is going to be kind of an ideal Terran opener against a 4-gate. This is basically one of the strongest positions they can be early in the game in terms of number of units and upgrades and everything like that. So this is really a cause for concern in most scenarios. So let's go right back into Love CD Vision here. Gateways are up and running right now. You want to make sure you always use them when they're off cooldown. You never want them to be. You never want there to be too much of a layover when it's off cooldown. You want it to always be consistent with those warp-ins. And now specifically doing things like grabbing the Xel'Naga Tower, obviously always a good idea in all of our games. When you're getting ready to push out, the push is going to come typically around 6:30. That's when you're going to start to look to move out and be aggressive. You want to make sure again that you have that proxy pylon ready at that time. That way, when you do move out, you can have those quick reinforcements, and that's specifically what's going to happen. So what we're going to see here is a little one does attempt to push out, and again, early game, literally with a 3 racks, this is one of the strongest positions that the little one could possibly be in terms of, again, early game units and aggression. If you can catch them off guard like that, trying to drop force fields always going to be a good idea. I mean, obviously, always lead with those zealots, because the goal here, the mentality when engaging these early game bio ball, the Marines and Marauders, is you need to keep them on the move. You don't want them standing still and sniping down your stalkers. A marauder heavy army is always going to do very, very well against your stalker. So you need those zealots in constant chase, and then the stalkers leading the trail behind that. And if you can again stop them from standing still, that's going to put you in a really, really good spot. We can see another big thing here as well is obviously the little one doesn't have the stim pack upgraded right now at this moment in the game. Something to realize, although it's obviously due to the fact that he didn't research it. Another big thing too is that the stim pack research time is very long now. It's longer than it used to be in StarCraft 2, and because of that, you are seeing players try funky and alternative builds not involving stim pack, knowing that the time is going to be off as is. So that's a big part of the reason why this victory was so easy for Emperor. You can see very lopsided position right now. I'm sorry, Love CD, I call him Emperor. For Love CD, you can see this is obviously why a big part of the reason why. But another thing is, even with Stimpack, I don't think that would have made that drastic of a difference. You can see 9 armor supply as opposed to the 24. So just make sure you're always keeping them on the run, chasing with those zealots. Stalkers leaving the trail behind. You do want about 2 sentries. That's going to give you enough energy to drop those force fields to cut off units that are trying to retreat and allow your zealots to catch up to them. And realize another big thing about this build is the strength of being able to hide your tech, hide that 4 gate, denying that scouting information from your opponent. In terms of positioning, you want to always basically put it in a corner of the map, put it in a position that's not likely to be scouted. You're going to know, obviously, the typical major pathing that's going to take place when your opponent's scouting. So hide it in some place that's not going to be easily or typically scouted. There you have it. So let me just run over that build order very quickly here for the 4 gate here with the proxy gateways. I'm going to start off with 9 pylon, then 13 gateway. 15 is when that assimilator is getting dropped. 18 is your cybernetics core. 22, Warp Gate Research. Remember, those first 2 Chrono Boosts going to be on your Nexus. Then after that, use a Chrono Boost for your Stalker as well as that Warp Gate Research. That Chrono Boost to Stalker is going to allow you to shoo any possible scouts out of your base. Don't let them see that you just have that 1 gateway there. And for your proxy gateways, that's going to be happening at 26 supply. So again, make sure you drop that pylon somewhere in the vicinity of 22 supply. That way it's up and powered, ready to drop these 3 right away at 26. And there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, guys, if you like the content, please do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Keep watching and keep owning.